Hello and welcome to Dialog training for CDOT contractors. This training is for anybody who is joining or is accessing Dialog through a partner portal or a partner community, and that is going to be primarily for contractors. So this is going to be a series of four very short uh, and informal learning modules that will help you get on board with creating new cases and finding cases and answering cases within Dialog. So let's move forward. So there will be four total sessions. Each one of them will be very short. The first one, this one, is really just basics, logging in, basic navigation, and terminology that you'll encounter while using Dialog. The next session will be specifically all about managing customer service cases. The third one will be about changing ownership and collaborating with others. And then the fourth one will be a quick one about managing major event cases. So let's move forward. So I want to just very quickly give you some information about Salesforce.com because Dialog is built on a Salesforce.com platform. It is a ticket tracking application that's built in Salesforce, and CDOT uses this platform for a lot of different purposes. We are using it for the customer service representatives, this new organization that we've recently created within CDOT, to track tickets and customer inquiries and help us to gain better analytics around the types of questions and inquiries that we're fielding as an organization. Why this is important to you is because when you log into Salesforce, the first thing that you're going to do is look for an email from Salesforce.com that has a link that will prompt you to log in and establish your password. So this is going to be the first time you log in, and then afterwards you'll have a username and password. And then anytime that you might need to reset your password, again, you'll be clicking that Forgot My Password tab, and Salesforce will be sending you one. So support@salesforce.com will be the email address from which you receive that login email. So why are we implementing Dialog, and what's in it for us as a CDOT organization? So CDOT has decided to implement Dialog and to create an entire customer service organization throughout the state. And so we have customer service representatives in every region, in all 5 regions, including headquarters. And then we're also granting access to Dialog to all of our contractors because we know that you also handle a large number of inquiries from customers. And we would like to be able to track the inquiries overall that we're hearing as a state. So that's really what our objective is. And we want to do this because we think that we can provide better service coverage throughout our state by putting customer service representatives in each region and also by empowering our contractor community to manage these cases as well. We also believe that this dialogue system will enhance collaboration between headquarters, our communications managers, all of the different CDOT regions and the CSRs there. CSRs are customer service representatives, and you, our contractor partners. We believe that Dialog will help us have access to data faster and information and be able to provide more efficient responses to our customers, and then give us an ability as an entire CDOT organization to capture information about those inquiries so that we can analyze them and be more targeted in our improvement efforts. But before we start managing cases, let's first get started by some basics like logging in. So once you may have already been established in the Dialog community as a contractor. Once you're established there, you'll identify a couple of people within your organization who will end up being Dialog users. So when we create those people and add those into the Dialog system, you will be established as a user. Once we have established you as a user, an email with a login link will be forwarded to you, to your email address, and you will be prompted to log in with this big long link. See this blue underlined link right down here in this email? You can probably kind of see it. And so for you, you'll be looking for an email that's from support@salesforce.com. You'll click that easy link, and then you'll be prompted to note a password, and then you'll be asked to retype a password. You may be also asked to provide some password hint questions and answers as well. So it's fairly standard login, just like if you are involved in internet banking or you're an Amazon.com user, it's fairly standard web-based management of passwords, usernames and passwords. Then after you first log in, you'll go to the URL that's shown here, and we'll send that to you separately. That URL is c.dialog.force.com and then /case management /login. I know that's a little bit of a mouthful, but we'll send that to you. And after you link on it the first time, we'll just encourage you to make it a bookmark. You see here that little star, that is used stars in a Chrome browser. And we do actually recommend using Chrome when you're using Dialog as a browser. And the reason for that is because we find that the best and most consistent results that we find using this system are found when we're using Chrome. So we encourage you to do so. We want you to enter the username and password you established earlier. And then if you forgot your password, you can also help yourself. So see right down here, after you've logged in your first time, you'll just go straight to this page, which is the c.dialog.force.com page that you see up there in that link. And then you'll type in your username. You see Josh Johnson here and password. And then you have your forgot your password link. So if you can't remember it, click forgot your password and Salesforce will send you a link that will prompt you to answer your password hint questions and you'll be able to log in and move on. Okay, so let's take a quick look at that. Here is the email. So this is just an example. So when you first log in, when you're first never having logged in before, you'll look for a support@salesforce.com email. It will tell you your login is enclosed. It will ask you your name or tell you your name, and it will give you a big long link that you can click on, and then you will establish your passwords. And then you'll retype it and also answer some password hint questions. Once you've done that, you'll log in and you will see Dialog. This is your home page. This is your landing page on Dialog. So as you start working with cases, you'll have some listed in the recent cases. And then we're going to walk through a quick navigation of Dialog, just general points here in a few minutes. Then when you do decide to log in the next time, so let's say that you've logged out of there and you're ready to log in the next time you are going to go to cdot.force.com case management /login. I recommend strongly editing this or bookmarking it for future use. You can tell here it shows up Office of Communications Case Management Login. So you don't have to remember that big long URL. Then you'll put in your username that we provided earlier, and that's the one that you logged in with, the password that you established, and then you'll just choose Login. Now, if you ever forget your password, here's the password link. You can simply click it, and when you do, Salesforce will ask you to give them your email address or your username. Sometimes those are not the same, so pay attention, but usually they're in email address format. And then you can go through the click-through link process for resetting your passwords. Fairly standard. All right, so now let's log in and take a quick look. All right, so now we're going to take a quick tour. We have 4 tabs. We have the Cases tab, the Chatter tab, the Reports tab, and a Projects tab. And then we're also going to take a quick look at list views and case list views because this is where you find your list of cases, either those that you're working on or those that have been assigned to you. So when I go into Dialog for my first time, I'll see 4 tabs. The first one is Cases, and this is where you're going to probably spend the vast majority of your time. The next one is Chatter. You'll probably be spending some of your time here as well, but you'll see it's a little bit social media-like in the way that it works, in that you'll post a comment. You might post a comment related to a case. When you do that, other people might reply, but really this is this is where you can view all collaboration that is happening with you in Chatter, and this allows you to collaborate with people who are your communications managers and maybe even CSRs or customer service representatives within the CDOT regions. Just kind of depends on what the cases are like. We also have a Projects tab. You as a contractor have 1 or more active projects with Dialog or with CDOT, and so you can see a list of all of your active projects that are going on. I haven't looked at any because this is a pretty fresh login. So I don't have any recent projects that I've looked, but if I wanted to look at the projects, I could just click go, and that would give me a list of all the projects that I am managing as a contractor. And then last but certainly not least, there is a list of um, reports. This is still under construction, so you'll see that we're getting a little bit of a message here. So I encourage you to come back. Dialog is a really new system to all of us. And oh, here's our reports and dashboards page. It's a new system to all of us, and we are still working to determine what kinds of reports we need. Um, and those reports will be helpful for you, and we'll talk about those a little bit more. But for the most part, you're going to be spending your time in the case tab managing cases. All right, so the next thing that we wanted to look at are the list views. So a list view, the concept of a list view is really just creating a list that never changes, and it's based on established criteria. So all open cases will give you a display of all of the cases that you either own and are currently responsible for closing, or that have been shared with you because somebody wants to collaborate with you around the case. Somebody else may retain the ownership, but you may be responsible for just weighing in on it. So all open cases are any cases really that you have access to, either through sharing or ownership, that have a status of open. Major events are cases that are generate a very high call volume. This is a different type of case. Rather than creating new cases for every single call, we just create one major event case and allow you to log calls next to it. Closed cases, those are ones that are closed cases for which you are the owner. So if you created it, you closed it, you'll be able to find it here. If somebody else transferred a case to you and you were the owner of it and you closed it, then you would be able to find that here as well. My open cases are those cases that you own. So they're not the ones that have been shared with you, just those for which you have been designated as the owner, and that's typically the cases that you've created. Or maybe somebody has transferred one to you. But these are also only have an open status, so they're still outstanding and need to be completed. And then the last one is the project cases. So any cases that are associated with a project that you own, you will be able to see there. So this would give you the ability to see cases potentially that maybe some of your colleagues have worked on if they are also Dialog community contractor community users. So those are the primary list views, and then there's a system list view, which is recently viewed cases, which is a handy one because it will remember in order the last cases that you worked on. So this is very a nicely kind of a handy view. Okay, so let's go to all open cases and see what we've got. So this is your case view. So I went to all open cases, and I really think that that's probably where you're going to start most of your day. And when I look here, I have one case. I just have one going on here. If I wanted to display the case, I can click on the subject. I can click on the case number. I can click on create a new case. I can view different information about the cases. And if you want to, you can even rearrange columns or even click on them to sort columns if you wanted to look at like the high priority cases such. So if I want to create a new case, I can click here to do so. And if I want to just view it, I'll just click on the case number. I could also have clicked on the case subject. It does the same thing. And now I am looking at a case. So this is a case. This one happens to be case number 2148. I could search on that case number 2148 up in this search box, or I could also search with keywords. That's just another way to find cases, and Salesforce will give you a search result from which to choose. But I think going into the list is probably the most effective and efficient at this juncture. And notice that when I look at the case, I default to a tab called View Case Details. There are other tabs to the right, Answer Customer, Write Case Notes. There's a More tab that allows us to log a call if we want to, but we're going to use mostly case notes for that, so not to worry. And then you'll see down here I can make changes to a case by choosing Edit, or I can choose the Close Case button. And when I choose Close Case, that will change the status to closed, and it will take it off my list. So as you scroll down your case detail, you can see information related to it. You can see how it came in. You can look at the issue details. You can see where it happened. You can, and any other kinds of information that might be associated with it. If you have recent history, you can kind of look at that as well down there. But for the most part, you're just going to be viewing this case, figure out what's going on, and then you'll use the Answer Customer tab to respond to the customer or to email others. You can use that in a couple of different ways. And then you'll write case notes. And when you write case notes, you will be able to collaborate with others using that. This also employs that same sort of chatter functionality. And then when you're finished with the case, you can simply click close. So let's go in and see where we're at. I think we're about finished here. So we went through and we took a look at each of the case, chatter, reports, and projects tabs, talked about a list view, and then we took a deep into the case list views. So let's finish up this session just with some quick definition terminology. A case is a record that contains detailed description of customers' feedback, problem, question, and we use it to track and resolve our customers' inquiries, and also because we're curious. We want to understand what types of cases and what kinds of customer inquiries we're receiving as a CDOT organization. A contact, then, is a record that is used to capture information about a customer, such as first name, last name, phone number, email address. You might even want mailing address. We didn't really look at contacts at this first demo, but we will in a future section when you're creating a new case, because you may be prompted to capture information about a customer name. The project is a record that is used to capture information about a specific CDOT project, and you guys, as contractors, will have projects that are assigned to you, and multiple projects can be associated with a single contractor. So having a fully complete project related to a contractor is kind of important, because that helps our customer service representatives throughout the state understand what types of projects are being managed, and maybe even they can use that for additional information when they are fielding phone calls from our constituents. Major event. A major event, as I mentioned before, is not a single case. It's more like a scenario. So things like when we have a big blizzard, or we have a rock slide, or we have a road closure, or we have a big event like a race or a football game or something, which is causing a high volume of incoming inquiries, rather than require you to create a whole bunch of different cases. You can we work with our communications managers to create major events, and then whether it be contractors or customer service representatives or communications managers, they can simply just log a call next to a major event. Chatter is a social media-like collaboration tool within Dialog that tracks comments between customer service reps, subject matter experts within the regions, contractors, and any other Dialog users like at HQ, like communication managers, throughout the life of the case. So you have a Chatter tab, and then you also notice that when you're doing case notes, those case notes employ the same Chatter functionality. And then last but certainly not least is the reports. This tab allows you to report your cases. So ultimately, we'll be building some standard reports. They may not be in there just yet, but when you go in there, you'll be able to look at things like how many customer service calls, how many cases have I managed, how many cases have been related to this project, what types of questions are they. And when you see that you have a trend of different types of questions, there may be actions that you can take to proactively address some issues and help inform our Colorado driving community. All right, so let's go. I think that's it. So that wraps up our very first session, and our first session was all about how to get logged in, how to navigate the simple tabs within Dialog, and then we just took a quick tour of the different case list views, and then we looked at a case. The next session will be managing cases. So thank you for your participation, and we'll see you in the next session.